enough. Look at that.
Yeah, fun day, fun day. So yes.
You wanna? Yeah. No,
Yeah, let me show you real quick. Oh yeah, this. So you know how to play a little? Nice. I'm learning little by little. I'm cheating because I'm just going on YouTube and I don't know why I have a good memory, so I remember the buttons. But I'm learning some songs since it's here. So, but yeah, it was a friend I met at the cigar shop. It's beautiful. Hear a little bit. I'd love to hear a piece if you have one. Beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, so this is starting Wednesday. So
have you had any one come in to?
I had a couple meetings, kind of like networking. They came in, we chatted a little bit, but nothing yet. But I mean, I had it open already, so I'm still taking clients as much as I can. But all these have a funny story. So this one, right there in Belton, was going through a hard time, and I was like, should I even just completely close this business because I barely had time? So I went to Goodwill. No, not the Goodwill, the thrift store, right there on what's that called? 6th Street, I think, the main road. There's a Baylor and Scott thrift store.
Yeah.
In the little plaza, and $15 for this jacket, and it was a Tom James. If you ever know Tom James, well, that's the client's name. So Tom James, so that's the name of the company, the brand, and this was for that person.
So his name was
Yeah, the client. So, and I'm like, am I looking at Tom James? Think of seeing the Pope on the side of Belton Street, and you're like, something's not right. Like, what's going on?
Okay.
Same thing with this. This is a $2,500 suit. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. You don't see jackets like that at a thrift store. But I remember I got it and it fit me. I don't think I ever did any alterations. It had a little snag, so I'm assuming the guy didn't really care about it. But it kind of
kind of estate sale or something.
something.
Yeah.
But I remember it opened my eyes. I'm like, man, well, if he threw away a $2,500 suit, that means there was nothing behind it, like no story, nothing to keep it. Because if it's a little snag here, that could be fixed. But I'm like, there was nothing. So that kind of motivated me to say, well, maybe I should change my style for the suits, like give them a story, sit down, talk more about them, find out more about their family rather than transactional. So that was pretty neat. I wore that a number of times. And then these the two stripes, that was in 2017 when I first started. I know you're from Vietnam, but in Asia it's very hard to decipher between fake manufacturers because of the language barrier, and then you don't know who's real and who's not. So I had to test some people, and some they tested one. This was actually from Hoi An, Vietnam, but it was called Yali Couture, but they just did a lot of mistakes, like cheap fabric, in my opinion. But yeah, Yali Couture. I think it even says. I guess not, but but I liked it. Again, I was learning more. They had great fabrics. The fabric is very, very luxurious. I liked that, but little things they messed up on. The quality of it is not as clean. There's some of them that I've sold, and it was just like not good craftsmanship. But I tried them. They still sell dress shoes, so I'll still talk to them, but homemade or handmade dress shoes. And that was this other company I tried until I found this company that I work now. But yeah, this was the last one where this is called a throwaway garment. So you throw it away after you put it on because it has none of your bells and whistles. It's just a finished product. It has nothing that you chose, but we do it for measurements. And that was a big thing where I kind of switched. I'm like, man, that was a big problem. I'm like, people would try it on, but then you have to take it to a tailor, and a lot of problems come about. Like, hey, it doesn't fit me. But now I had an extra step. I can literally get a very, very inexpensive garment. Literally, it's called throwaway. So you throw it away, you try it on, and we make the adjustments there. So I didn't need a tailor. And then the next month we ship you the actual garment, and man, it made a difference. Like it fit great. I'm like, wow. So that each one has a story. This was a good one, and but yeah, I mean, this every one of those. But yeah, it's little by little. Feel free to sit down here, Father. Yeah, that's my little office, I guess. Or there's a couch there that I sleep there. So there's a couch right there on the other side.
It's a nice space.
Yeah, it was weird how it started, Father. I know you're not too familiar with Waco, but there's this other one down the street, not too far, and it wasn't in. It was in a nice neighborhood, but it was more retail. This one's a little different, and somehow this is in a nicer income area. There's a lot of new houses being developed, and yeah, I was gonna go on the other one. I was like 95% sure, and it was a little more than I could afford. But I'm like, I'm gonna take it, and I passed by this when I was doing DoorDash, and I saw the sign that says for lease. Called him. The guy was really neat, and he represents he's a real estate guy that represents the owner of this building, who's a local guy, been here for like 40 years. And I was like, you know what? Let me just throw an offer out. Like my mom always said, you know, the worst they say is no. So I gave him a very, very low offer. I told him, hey, you know, you don't even have to fix anything. Give it to me as is. You know, I gave him kind of a bargain, and he met me in the middle. He said yes. He did tiers, so it was the first year is one price, which is pretty close to what I wanted, and it slowly goes up, and if that makes sense. Okay, you know, that's what business should. I should be growing. So I liked it. It wasn't too much to fix. I had to paint that brown wall that was like an aqua. It's funny. Every maintenance people here in Texas is Mexican. It's hilarious. So his maintenance guy was Mexican. The guy that opened up or put the sign up was Mexican, and we just became great friends. Like the guy was so cool. He was like, "Yeah, man, anything you need, let me know." We sat down, we chatted, and just really good people I've been meeting. But let me step back a little and tell you. It was about a little bit after the new year, I discovered a cigar shop down the street from there. And I remember smoking a cigar every once in a while with my brother. It's funny, you know, my brother's situation. Yeah. So it was more nostalgic. We went to Killeen a couple times, a cigar place there in Killeen, and before he passed. And I don't know why I always enjoyed it. Never had time, but I did a couple times at our Belton house, and you can't. There's a way you smoke it where you shouldn't inhale it, and then if you do, it gives you a headache. And so I kind of stopped it because it gave me a headache, but I learned how to consume it more, and that was the beginning, Father. That it was calming me down. Like I remember I would go there, and in the beginning, just wanted to go there, and they had a TV show, they had a Hulu channel I was watching, and they're like, I had no friends, Father. I had no guy friends. I had no girlfriends. That was my weekends, and they were so great. They still are. The owners there, they're a young couple, and they receive me very well. And I'm a member there. I pay $50 a month, and they give me deals and stuff, and now, 5 months later, now it's fun. I met so many people. They're the guy that helped me, and they're all older men. That's why it's cool. Like, they're just so great. They're married for like 20, 30 years. The other guy, his wife passed away like within 2 years, but they were married for 43, and they're just having a cigar, and it was just fun going there. And I never told anyone about my separation from Nancy, and it was beautiful because I would talk as if I would see them, as if they were together with me. I would tell them about everything. They always say, well, Nancy comes, you should bring her by. And I'm like, I know I will one day. But I kept going, and it was calming. And it is, me, like I don't drink, and it's weird, Father, and I know I'm going to go back and forth, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to put it all in order, it's just so much, and so I apologize if I jump around, but I'm considered on paper like a criminal. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to, I'll be lying to you if it didn't hurt. Just reading things on paper that I've done. And I'll be honest with you of everything I've done, Father, because, and I can't tell anyone but you because I know this system, like, I'm at a disadvantage, and it hurts me. So the more I talk about it, the more it looks bad on me. So I can't do anything. But I know I've done wrong. And there's about 4 things I've done wrong. I spanked Isaac very much. I put him in the closet for 3 hours. And he peed his pants, and he fell asleep in there because he was acting up in mass. And that's when we talked a little more about going to see a therapist. That was early on, and I stopped it, Father. I stopped it, but I spanked him still. I would yell at him with words. Like, just shut up. Told you to keep quiet. Stop it. And they look at me like as if they're like I was gonna beat the heck out of him. I never beat him, Father. I never. But I always use strong words, and that was what scared him. And I pushed Nancy one time when this was in Kyle. This was in 2019. She didn't want to get out of my way. And I'm like, I'm leaving, get out of here. And she's like, no, and I pushed her. And it was funny because as I pushed her, she grabbed onto me. And we even joked about it. Like, she scratched me good. And she didn't do it on purpose. She just like grabbed me as I pushed her. And I don't remember at all more than that. Like, I never hit her. But I've said many things that I was going to leave, I was going to kill myself, I was going to kill them. That I'm tired of this. Because God always gives me, and again, I always use it against God. I always use it against God. And in my head, I said, well, this is what God is. God is family and beautiful, so let me say these dumb words to get back at him. And I say this with conviction now, that all those were just words. Because right now, statistically speaking, there's some crazy people that take it to the next level. That's why the system, that's why the judge, everything, they know, it's textbook, they know what's the next step, which is violence, which is over the edge, where they go crazy. And Father, I haven't drank, I haven't talked to another woman, I haven't had no animosity towards Nancy, I have nothing. And that's why I'm saying time is on my side, but darn it, it hurts.
And I'm not that person. I'm not a violent person, and I understand those awful words. I know. I keep saying I'm sorry so many times, Father, so many times. And it just hurts because I've changed, and I know on paper it doesn't look good. I went through the process in January. I went through all the things that they wanted me to go to. I signed up for the therapy classes. This was the reason why I didn't like our Catholic Mexican group that we were part of. It was like a Movimiento Familiar. I don't know if you heard of that, but it's in St. Francis. I just felt like his faith. I was so strong. I wanted to change, Father. I was so strong that I see fakeness and I push it away in my head. AKA, I would tell them the truth. Like, we went the second time to that meeting, and it was just fake this guy. It was only like 4 couples. We're the youngest one, and all 3 of them went because either they cheated on each other, or they got another marriage, or he left and she cheated on him. It all came for a reason, and we just proactively went. That's so ironic. We're the youngest, and it made sense. Like, okay, it looks like a good program, and we want to represent that. And I just saw the fakeness. The guy, the strongest Mexican guy you could think of, that would never talk. And the wife's right there, he doesn't talk. And he's like all serious. In the second meeting, he was starting to open up with a joke. And then the main leader, we'll talk about that later, was going along with the textbook. And I laughed in my head. Like, you know how many people wait years for their husband to open up, and you just shut it down because you got to follow the textbook? So I do what I always do. I have this ugly face, and you can tell when I'm angry. I don't know what you call it in psychological terms or psychology terms, but passive aggression, I don't know, but you can tell that I'm angry sometimes, and I just keep quiet.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah, and he asked me, is something wrong? And I opened up. I'm like, hey, you asked me. And I told him that, and it left a bitter taste in his mouth. Like, I could tell that he didn't like it, but I'm sorry. Like, all this stuff, like, that's the purpose of going to his classes. But you can't predict it. Sometimes a person open up right away. Sometimes a person takes 12 years to open up. We don't know, but whenever you see someone open up, you let it happen. So I told him that, and he was like, no, we have to follow the rules and stuff. I'm like, fine. That was about 2 weeks before this fiasco happened. So all this was built up in my head. And the same thing with the therapist. He forgot my name. We rescheduled like 4 times. I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is not real change. And then the guy thought I was Miguel. Like, he was, and then I already learned, but through my business a couple years ago, and then from my brother's ex-wife, she's a social worker. It's a job. All it is. And she's a great listener, but it's a job. And I hear that from themselves. And it's the cruel reality. And then, don't even get me started on the business side of it. Like, telehealth is owned by this pharmaceutical company that's owned by a health corporation. And they're traded in the stock market. And it's one of the biggest telehealth companies in the world now. It's called BetterHelp. I don't know if you came across that. And that's the one they refer me to. And then you see about the employees. They're the lowest out of the chain of income, but they get the most out of it. It's almost like in a corporate world, slave labor. Yeah, they get $35,000 a year. Yeah, they get benefits, but if you ask them, they hate their job and they have to keep on going. And they only get Medicaid people. which considered one. So they're used to people canceling, they're used to people fighting against them, and oh, I don't care, all this stuff. And they treated me like that. They didn't care what I had to say. He did the same tactics when I was opening up. I felt kind of comfortable. He was a guy, and I thought it was cool. And this was the second person because the other person just kept on canceling. I'm like, okay, it's the third time I have to bring it up to your leader. I'm like, I want this, but what's going on? Like literally within 20 minutes of our meetings. Just imagine if I had that I was going crazy and I needed that. And then you just forget about it. But again, I understand that. And then he did the same thing. He didn't call off the meeting, but he did the same tactic as the Movimiento Familiar guy. I was opening up. He was like, no, don't tell me that now. We have to wait. Hold that. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no, I'm that macho Mexican guy. Like, I wonder how he felt when he was like, okay, I'm going to open up. And he's telling me, hold off. But again, I'm not in the business to change that whole system. So I decided at that time that I was going to save money, stop living in Belmead, leave that and start living in my car. And wait until May or June when the court date was going to come. And this was in March. And save as much as money as I can. But it looks bad on paper. It looks like I did not finish the program. Of course, their end, oh, he didn't respond. He's very unresponsive. We tried, and we only did one meeting. But that's what hurts the most, Father. And I'll leave you with. I'll conclude this part with this. That the thing that hurts me the most. Again, I can't talk about it because I understand with this step in divorce, they're sides now. You have this side, you have that side. And you know who's on each side, and they are ready to fight. That's why I don't talk to my family. Because they're ready to tell me, I told you so. She manipulates you, she changed you. Look what happened, I told you so. And I have this side. You do manipulate her, Nico. It's so ironic. They're telling me that she manipulates me, which I disagree. And then her family's telling me I manipulate her. And I'm grateful that her mother still chats with me. She's the only one. And all these things that just hurt so much. And I remember when her big problem, and this is what I want to share with you, because I don't know who else to share it with, because it looks like fighting words. And I don't want fighting words. I just wanted to say it. So I'm very limited on my words, because every little thing you would say, they would take it as, oh, no, you're the problem. And is for a number of years, her big problem with Nancy was she couldn't be separated from her family. That was her only flaw that I brought it up, and she agrees with it. And she was like, it's just too hard. She's so close with the family. And then we had to take it serious one time, because then they were like kind of passing the fence where they were kind of telling us how to raise our kids. So I told them, like, I'm sorry, Nancy, like, we have to tell them, like, we raise our kids differently. Like, they wouldn't let them explore. They would yell at us, oh, why is he playing on the table with the napkins and with the sugar packets? No, he has to sit. It's her mother saying this. And I say, he just made a castle with these sugar packets. No, like, he's gonna explore. And then we put it back, because she's always making a big mess. And that's just one small example. All these little things that they don't let them be free. And I had that issue with my father. They never trust you. That was the biggest thing. My dad, to this day, never trusts me. And that's something I just have to accept. It hurts, but I know. So from the accordion, not the piano, but the accordion, that same instrument where he never let me play it. And I always wanted to play it. And then tools. I want to build so many things. He never let me touch his tools because, I would break it or I'll do these things. And the opposite, I let them play with the axe. And they're so smart. To this day, they never hurt each other. And that's what they always said. My dad and her mom. Oh, he's going to cut himself. I'm watching them. And that thing, that's something we can't touch, that intangible love that my son has for us. And he says, wow, my dad's letting me do this. Okay. And they do it great. Benny, instead of throwing away these pans, I give it to them and they play with these balls of dirt and mud, and they make these cool little sculptures. And then I let them have the hammer and nails, and they make these little cool designs. And I let it open to them. My little tool shed is there. And then I always tell them, like, hey, if your time, put them back. I never yelled at them. It was beautiful, and they trust me. And I say that because right now the mother's telling me that they're realizing it. Isaac's getting very angry. She said he even threw a plate. And Benny's very forceful. And of course, they're saying like as if I'm the evil man. So they're just like you. And I can just imagine them saying it to them. You're just like your dad. How does that feel for the son? Like it makes sense. Like this is why I never agree with divorce, because these little tidbits they think is nothing, but the kids feel it. That's why they get so angry and they don't know what to do when they get older, so they just rebel. And I know all this, Father, and it hurts me because I can't defend them. I want to defend them so much, but it'll look like I'm a tyrant, like I'm evil, and it just hurts so much. I can't defend them, but I know they're hurting because I had so much fun with them. I taught them so many lessons. Nancy knows. Nancy knows. And I have all these videos on our phone of the pictures. I'm doing a slideshow. I'm seeing all this, and they almost convinced me that I was this evil man, but it's not, Father. It's not. I have so much proof of just out of this whole craziness that I was going through. I never showed in those videos. I never showed in those pictures. I kept being happy. I kept going, and yes. And I have a lot of time to think, and I did the math where, what a coincidence. It was about less than 10 times where I quote unquote bursted or just left. There's some times where I would just leave them and acted like, oh, I'll leave you guys. Whether at the mall or the football stadium for 4th of July we went to, and I walked away, and I wanted to make them feel like, oh, you're by yourself. And I know that hurted her, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Those were things I did that hurted them, and she was always worried that I was always getting mad about something, but I never hit her.
Yeah, so there's a pattern between the two of you and the children that kind of created an atmosphere of mistrust. You know, she actually I spoke with her after I spoke with you, okay? And there is a sense of you know, it promised to change and work on it, but it got to a point where she was afraid that yes, it might be okay for a few days or length of time, and you're going to revert back. So there's that fear, okay? And that she didn't say explicitly that, but she implies that that's why she took this step of divorcing, okay? It is because of that fear. So I did talk with her, and I said, from speaking with you, you seem to have somehow relieved of that great anger that you have been struggling with for many years. So there is that change. And then, you know, there is miscommunication. You know, she worked out something, a deal with you where you can visit the family and all that, and then something changed and you didn't say anything, you just decided not to do something. But then you didn't inform her and she didn't think about asking you, so she assumed the worst. She assumed that you had bad intentions, okay? So there's a basic level of miscommunication going on. And so we talked about that. And I did ask her, so what do you think the divorce can achieve? Okay, so I don't know if she has a good answer for that. But divorce is probably always kind of bad for the children. So we kind of left it at that, and I said I was coming up to see you today, and maybe on the way back I can drop by and just visit with them. So, which I will do in a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we stand. But this is where those things on paper, like you mentioned, that's what the judge go by. They look at, they probably don't sit down and talk with you like this, right?
No, they don't.
No, they don't. And they just look at, what's documented. So maybe on the one hand, I know that it may not be personally helpful to you, but then it might be helpful to your case when you complete the requirements. Say, I'm willing to go through this. So that's something to consider.
And I know it's my fault. I understand.
Well,
that,
you
but
have
that's-
to change, right? So these things have to change. That's no doubt about that. But in terms of kind of working out to have some kind of a positive look upon your own case, then maybe consider to complete whatever.
So, if I may, just to inform you, again, I learned this through the suit business. A number of my clients a number of years ago were lawyers and were defense attorneys, and in their office, they're chatting with me, and it's different. I'm not their client, so they joke with me and they tell me little things, and I didn't care about it before because I didn't care about divorce, and I remember their intentions, and so knowing all that, they really don't care about what the person wants. They have their agenda, they have their structure, and they need a win.
And that's the goal.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, that's what it is. And then they looked at me as well. Again, it's funny how I remember these little tidbits. I didn't care before because I'm like, who cares about jail? I'm just selling you a suit. But they say little funny jokes, and they said one time was a defense attorney, similar to my lawyer now, and is doing the same thing. I'm noticing the same trend that he joked about, where they don't care about my case right now. Like, he even told me, the lawyer here in Waco, he was like, you can take those classes or not. You're a first-time offender. What hurted me more, not of those dumb classes he's quoted, not me, but he joked about he's a country Texas guy. He was like, yeah, who cares about it? You can do whatever you want, he says. That has nothing to do with your criminal case. That's your marriage thing. It was like, but what hurted me more was when they took me to jail and I went to go see them. And, but even then, he got mad at me. He was like, come on. He was like, but they were misdemeanors, and he was telling me how we might bulk it all up, but it's going to take more time. So that's what ultimately killed me, is time now. And so instead of May, it just happened May 10th, they reset it until August. So I know in my head at least till August, I cannot see them. And that was before I learned about last week divorce papers. But I do agree with you, and I do agree with you with the communication. Absolutely. Oh man, it's just hard because you're a text message away for the past 12 years, the person that you love. And you know she'll always respond, and she knows I will always respond. And it's nothing, you know. That was hard. And I know the people who are speaking on behalf of her, it's not in our best interest. And I know that because they stated it before. Homeschooling, her mother never liked it. How we raise our kids, everyone didn't like it because they wanted a Mexican way or be strict. And now again, it's just how it is. It all falls on the man. In the divorce case, where and she's that was my legitimate issue, but I know I cannot bring it up now. It'll just look very bad on me if I bring up anything and it shows that I'm not worrying about my own issue. And to the contrary, I know I did wrong. But I'm saying that that's what's hurting me. And again, I don't want you to tell her this or mention it, because I know even that will bring up animosity. But that's the main thing that I've always had an issue with, Father, is that they never let her be free. They never let her, and they are in heaven now. I can show you text messages just today how she was like, well, two things. One, and I love her mother because she's honest. So I like it. And I'm using this information in my head, not against her again. I'm not in this fight. I'm not even getting a lawyer. I'm going to lose a lot. But I want time to show that I did not put a fight up. My guard is down. I do not agree with divorce. I do not agree with this because I understand fighting is going to happen in any type of divorce, and more so with kids. And I'm just calling myself out. I'm not even going into the game. And again, it looks bad on me. Everyone's telling me, all these lawyer friends are telling me, get a lawyer, get a lawyer. She's gonna screw you. And she is. It's on the first paper, it's telling me I can't even own the car. I'm telling that another layer of protection. So on top of the bond, she put another restraining order on me because she's afraid of the kids, and it hurts, Father, and I understand the same fear. So her mother texted me two things I want to briefly mention. Is one, she said, well, if she goes back with you and you do this again and you treat the kids bad again, they're gonna take the kids away from both of them, from both of us. And it's better if she takes care of them and they're in good hands with us, the family, she said, basically minus me. And then she said, you know, that video I sent you, I sent it to her and many other
I
family
mentioned it to
members.
her that you sent something.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't know if she saw it or not, but I know her mother saw it, and she would say, how can you be so humiliating? Like, don't you have any pride? She said, my son, I would never want my son to be begging like that, like a kid. And all these little funny things. I'm like, wow.
The double standard, right?
Yeah, and again, Father, nothing's hurting me now. Like, I know what I'm doing. And she said, and it's funny, I wrote back saying, you're right, I am a kid. Like, tender, a blind, without thinking what the society thinks of me, I just say it. So I'm very proud of what I did. I know it looks bad, meaning like I'm weak, I'm a sissy, I'm a kid, I don't know how to control my emotions, but Father, I feel that I have something of pure love. I have something so special that God's given me. And I'm going to try every way peacefully to fight for it. And that's the way I do it. But just being open. We all want love. We all have this guard because we're always hurt by people. And we talked about this before, Nancy and I. We know this stuff. I tell her sometimes too, like the simple thank you and please. Like, people, their first action is to defend themselves. Then they kind of calm down when you're not fighting or anything. And that's what I'm doing now. And it's funny because they were ready to fight. they are ready to fight. And I learned from my father, not in a good way, but I learned through my father that it takes two to fight. And my father was always me, that he always was ready for my next comment. He knew you could just say one thing and boom, it gave him a reason to fight back and hit me and all these things. And I learned when I was in college, I kept quiet, and he hated that. He hated that because he had no reason to fight me. So this is what I'm doing. I'm responding, so I'm not quiet, but I'm responding, but I'm not responding with those little mean, double meaning comments or all these little things and like, oh, whatever, or like, hey, kind of what she says, and oh, what a hypocrite. All these little things that you can, quiet words that will kind of touch people's chords the wrong way, and then boom, they go. And her mother, like, she even joked. She was like, all these things she's throwing at me, like, again, fighting, throwing it, attacking me, and I'm not doing nothing. And I'm happy with the way the text message conversation ended today, because it was, she said, okay, well, hope you have a good day. Like, it was funny, like, and then I said, thank you, thank you for responding to me, thank you to talk to me. And I don't think they're used to it. And again, I have time on my side, Father, but man, it hurts. But I'm not like this the whole time. It's funny. I do my calls. I call people. I go. I love what you said last night. I have a routine. I do DoorDash. I made a little video right now for the boys, and I mentioned you twice. One. So this was my time. I'm supposed to do DoorDash, and I'm very strict on my schedule. And I'm not going to say no to you. And I know you're taking a bigger sacrifice coming down here, so I'm always open. I was like, yes. And in my head, I'm like, these are little things that used to get me angry before. Little things that didn't go my way. Not big stuff. It's just, I have to switch my schedule. I didn't care. I'm like, okay, let me turn off the DoorDash. He says in an hour. I was right here when he called, and he said it. And same thing. And then that's when I recorded. I'm like, look, boys, like, I just wish you guys could see it. But all these little things that used to get me just boiled up inside. And then by the time I get home, it's even worse because I have all that bad energy. And then boom, when the boys say something wrong, or when the boys didn't listen to mom, I'm like, and I would just get angry. But yeah, and then the beautiful thing, I sat down here, waited and talked for about 20 minutes with the boys, and I turned it off and I just sat down. I like this section because I look outside and I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm like, it's time to get enchiladas here. So I went there, and it was a beautiful call because you left it open. It could have been all night, and I wanted to go to DoorDash tonight to at least do a little bit more. And I was just okay. Okay. And when he called, it was a beautiful delight because it was what I never saw before. That it always turned out good, but I always burst it out. So I never experienced the good. I saw it because I lived through it, but I never experienced it because I was always flushed with that anger. But here I got to enjoy it. Like, it was cool. I'm like, wow. I kept eating more nachos to congratulate myself. I'm like, he called. Like, it was just so beautiful. Like, it wasn't that you called, it was that it worked out. You don't have to be angry. And that's the other part. I just cried because I know on paper I'm late. But God, I'm not late, Father. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be respectful to Nancy. I'm not. I told her mother I want to go see her mother at the Whitney house, which is about 40 minutes from here. Her dad did not come out. It's okay. I still talk good about him. Like, that's the thing. Like, they always thought I hated them. And no, like, and they were always mean to me. They always say I was different. And again, they are running with it now, and it's okay. We still care about them because it's bigger than that. I don't know, after seeing that craziness, that I don't know why God wanted me alive. I never understood it. I'm like, wow, like I'm still alive. Like what's going on? Like something kicked me in the head. I'm okay. I know what to do now. So, and I know it's worse now. I wish I would have realized that before this whole fiasco happened. But that's why I'll never blame Nancy. Her calling the police, doing all this stuff, it brought me to here. I never would have opened this. I never would have. And again, that's the other thing she mentioned. And I know you got cold, but I'll just say this, that yeah, she was like, oh, you're gonna lose money, you're not gonna do good, why don't you just get another simple job? This is my wonderful mother-in-law. And then she also said 4 times when I sat down with her Friday, find another woman? I even laughed at it. Like, man, I'm the best mother-in-law ever, telling me to see another woman. Like, every man would love that. Every man that's not happy with his wife would love his mother-in-law. But, and I joke with her, I'm like, thank you, but no. Like, I'm not.
She's funny, she.
What do you do? What? 4 times. I even joked, I'm like, okay, this 4 times. But she literally said, you know, find another woman, it's okay. And I'm trying to analyze it, but I keep coming at a question mark. Like, I mean, does she feel like, I don't know, but it was,
Yeah, I have the sense that some Mexican women are like some Vietnamese women.
oh my God, that's strange. Yes, very strange. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I will tell you this though, that she's a beautiful woman, my mother-in-law, and I believe that she never experienced true love. The way I've observed her all these years.
That may be the case. It's often the case like that, you know. Same thing in that country. The people stay together for various reasons. You know, it's good for the family in a way, but there's no deep and abiding true love and unity. That's kind of unfortunate.
They live with it. That's the
They
thing.
live
So it's
with
very
it.
hard to
They
say.
accept it, they live with
Yeah.
it, but it's not optimal. But that's the human condition, you know. And just like we are with God too, we know that. I mean, in a way, but we don't quite trust it all the way. You know, we're totally devoted to God, then things might still go wrong, but at least we have peace as opposed to creating hell for ourselves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we don't quite
And
trust that.
I can imagine Vietnamese women are similar in that sense too, of holding it in.
Yeah.
There's no stronger woman than a woman that holds that in, because so I took it where, okay, I have a chance with my wife now, with that background, and I changed it. I totally changed it. And again, I know it looks like I'm a manipulator, but I truly don't believe that, Father. And if you ever ask her, she will not say that. Not because I'm forced her, no. Like, she's separated from me right now, so I have no bearing on her. I believe everything I've done. And that's why I'm fighting. If I was a jerk, I didn't care about my family. If I said, no, there's another better woman out there.
No, I think Nancy recognizes that you do love the family, but then those issues that happen within you, know, that was so deleterious, negative for your relationship.
I don't know how, but yeah, again, it was, I would like to say fear. It was fear that I'll lose my family and why are you doing this, God? All these little things, I laugh about it now.
But I don't know, when you were still in Belton, you know, I thought about it, I don't know this is whether true or not, but there might be a measure of pride in that also.
No, it is.
Yeah, that
if you are thinking about what I'm thinking, then we are on the same page, because I still remember when it was like you almost opened me, Father. Should have yelled at me twice. I still remember that because no one did that in my life. No man ever did that in my life to see them. And I know you didn't hit me, but basically, like, wake up. So I want to say thank you, because I still remember that. I was stupid. I still, yes, cried. No, I don't need you. Who are you? All this stuff in my head. I'm like, this is my house. All this I couldn't afford. And it's just, yes. And I would ask you one, maybe two things, if you can share this with her. That one, I have no animosity. I have no, in Spanish called rencor, like guilt on her. I have nothing on that. And I know, I'm assuming she thinks the same thing as her mom, because her mom spoke in behalf of her about this, so I appreciate her sharing this, but she said one bit, and you just mentioned too, a fear that I could do this again. And that was the second part that I asked you to share with her, to communicate with her, that something's happening, Father, and I know she wants proof.
Well, only time can tell for sure. But this is where it's kind of you stay within the freedom that God already gives you. The freedom that you now experience from the inner turmoil that you had before. So
Yeah,
it's basically meaning to stay within God's grace.
and like I said, I'm not gonna talk too much about God, because I know what He wants me to do, and I know it, and I wish when I used to hear was like this, so I understand why she's afraid. I understand why she does not understand my change. And like you said, only time will tell, but I'm gonna be bold and ask you to please reconsider. Take that chance. It is a chance. Because on paper, I'm this worst man. And I understand. So I ask that you ask her that. Please take a chance. But yeah, brother, I miss them so much. I have no ill will with them. Her family, I thank them so much because they're the ones carrying it. I know with money, like, everything's against me. They again, these little rumors and everything, but I know what I'm doing. I know my intention, and God knows my intentions, everything. And that's the other thing I want to say. She didn't mention nothing about our business in the divorce papers, and I might ask them to add it, but I know if you like contest it as a whole of the world, that means you have to fight it. So I don't know if I can amend it rather than uncontested.
To do what now?
If she goes through with it. Like I said, I'm not forcing her, Father. I'm just asking her to reconsider.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand, and I've accepted it. Believe me, I've accepted it. You know her so much. I know there's something good out of this. I know. But on the papers, like, this shows nothing about wanting my business at all. I'm gonna
Just leave her like that for now.
I know, but I want her to be part of it, Father.
No, just
I
let's leave him not lie. Okay.
because if I do good with this, I want her to
Of
do
course,
it.
but there are other ways to do that. Okay.
Wow, I thought this was the only way to the decree, but
Yeah, but let's not enrich the lawyers too much.
right. But yeah, like I said, just that's, it means a lot that you came here, Father. I think, yes. I don't know if you have her address, but I'll be happy.
Yeah,
to
she texted me a little while ago.
Okay. But yes, like, the 10601.
Yeah,
Okay. The Worthing Bend.
yeah, she just texted me, there's a green trash cart,
Oh,
I just say I'm heading over there a little bit.
trash what?
Trash cart.
Oh,
Trash
trash cans,
cans.
yeah, trash cans, yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, it's, I'm sorry for making it look like I didn't care about that.
No, it's okay.
My intentions was pure. I wanted the real change, and it changed. So it's funny. Don't tell her this, but I don't regret it of taking that step and not reaching out to him and not signing the papers, because the purpose for that was save money, because I needed to open this business, and then I had to pay like $6,000 more to the lawyer for the criminal case because I got in, and that set me back, and I'm like, darn it. And so instead of opening this up with a couple thousand saved, I was like, crap. And that was about the same time when the owner gave me a good deal on this. I'm like, and I thought I was this close about closing it. I'm like, no, but I would be in the same rut, Father. I gotta fight for this, and be it as it may, I'll share with you. I didn't share too much to the mother because I was scared that, again, this is weird. I feel like they might take advantage of everything, but I was this close about telling her because I was so felt good to talking to her. But one soup would take care of a whole week, 40 hours of DoorDash. One soup if I sell. That's how crazy. You gotta think Asia, because the suits they make are impeccable, and I'm sorry, but this is the way business is. I have no control of it, but it's a darn cheap suit, but it's a good quality, and you just
So do you import them or do you make
import
them?
them. No, import them. You have to. There's no other way to make any type of money, and it's unbelievable how they have the logistics set up. Like they have the 3D. Like they don't even use too many humans now. Like it's all 3D technology. How they cut the fabric. The only ones that are humans that touch it are the ones that do specific threads. But like 90% of the garments are already made by a machine. It's crazy. But they're high quality suits. That's why these bigger companies are buying in mass, and that's why they have sales on. But yeah, so to me, that's why I'm doing it, Father. Like it's unbelievable the profit I can make. And again, all of it I owe to my family. All of it. I joke about it where child support, they're telling me that they want about a third of my income. And I laugh in my head, I'm like, I gave 100% of my income to them when we were together. Like, they know that they don't want her to be dependent on me, so they want her to be a consumer, a product, a worker. She cannot survive on 30% of what I make. And again, that's the way it's systemized. It's so against the family. Like, and she knows this. I literally taught myself, and I told her throughout these years. I'm like, wow, like, it's against us. It's against the family.
Yeah, that's how a lot of families are impoverished.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they make you feel good. Oh, you got $1,300 from your husband. What's $1,300? I know because I know how much it is because I've done our finances. I know exactly to the dollar how much we need, and it ain't $1,300. And I would give them all. And that's the thing. Like it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, and that's what's driving this whole court case. So to me, in my head, I don't even care about that number because I'm gonna give them a lot more. Even if I do DoorDash And this, I have a plan where I know in the beginning that businesses fail in the first couple of years, so I'm using that information to focus more on my door dashing and let this more be awareness time, not to push. So I'm letting people know I have a whole system that I'm doing, and they're gonna slowly respond to me, and I'm not going to rely too much on that.
Yeah.
Because so many people throw in their lives and they lose. So to me, I'm doing both. And again, pride is what kills us. Pride is what makes a person don't go out to do DoorDash because they feel, oh, I'm not stupid DoorDash, I'm not a delivery driver. Little me, that's investment capital for me. In my mind, that is investors' money. That's not income. That's something that I can put into the business that I know I need right now. So again, try to explain it to my mother-in-law that wants, $500 right away. And again, I just keep quiet. Like there's no way to explain to them. And again, it's okay because they just don't understand. But yeah, like I said, it's beautiful because I know the potential of this, and she knows too. Like I was open to her about the business. She was the one that always listened to me, have an ear for me, and so she knows. But like I said, it's very hard. They just control her. But again, I understand that. I'm not angry at that. I'm just observing it. So I understand. That's why I have nothing against her. It's not her. And like I said, I'm ready, Father. Whether she sees another man, I thought about it all and I accept it all. Like, to me, there's no time. She has another family. I'm ready for it all. I'm ready. If she wants to come back anytime, I'm ready. No matter what, I'll always accept her with open arms. And, and I will not do that. Again, I learned from a very young age, you can never force a woman. And I've always said that to our boys, and I always said it to Nancy before Isaac was born. You cannot force him. And I stand on that. And I'm gonna hold it strong now. I really have to put it into use. That she may go, she has the power to go start a whole other family now. And that's fine. I know what I want to do for my family.
All right. Well, it's good to see you.
It was a delight, Father. The priest that was here in Waco, again, I don't want to say names, but it was a tough experience because he knew their family. And right away, he was, again, just pointing a finger and even saying, well, maybe you should get a divorce. And that, like, it was just very odd. So I really appreciate you calling. And I know I sent that message, but it was hard. I didn't know who to turn to. Like, I didn't understand it. And then the way he was describing things, like he knows all their side. He knows all their family. So I get it. Their sides. So it really, really means a lot that you're talking to her, that you're talking to me, because I feel like you're on our side, not my side, not her side. You're on our side, Thank you, Father. It means so much.
You hang in there,
I
okay?
will.
All right. We'll keep on praying for you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Gonna change and go to DoorDash.
Okay,
See
very
you
good.
soon.
Yeah. Still very live. So
Yeah.
DoorDash is how you just go to you get the not okay. I have something.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So there is a schedule for you.
No, I'm a top dasher. I do it every day, so
Oh, I
they
see.
give me.
I see.
I can do it anytime.
I see.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's
Well,
fun.
you still probably.
Yeah, gotta get my sleep, so I gotta
Yeah.
look at the time. But
Okay.
drive safe, I know
Yeah.
that it's hard at night, but
Okay,
give her my best.
I will.
Thank you, Father.
Take care. God bless.
Our boys too, so. You can do this. Oh man, this is so cool. Man, like it.